And then, and then you might keep one for a flip. You might keep one for a rental. You might find a creative way of partnering with someone or buying it, or there's all kinds of different scenarios that we could do this.
Right. You know, one thing I want to say and really echo what Emmett had to say is build the rapport with your seller and really, get to know what they like, get to know what they do, be their friend. This particular one in Taylor, I think I probably made, I would say probably about maybe about 7, 8 phone calls to him in the last 4 days, and really started to talk about what he likes, what he does. And he's got 10 more homes that he's looking to get rid of. And guess who's going to get those 10 more homes?
You, brother.
I've already got them. So it's just that's the.
I want some of them homes.
The game. What's up, Emmett?
Yeah. Yep. So that's why you got to perform. Mike and I have to perform on this deal, right, Mike?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Get to the next one.
Absolutely. I would have never have thought of it this way, but when Todd and I worked it, and it took us about a half hour, and we said, well, you know what, we think we can make it work. And lo and behold, it ended up being a deal. I mean, something that if a deal came in like this for me, when I first started, I would have said, no way, thank you. This is not a deal for me. I'm sorry, I can't help you. And now it just gives me one more tool in my toolbox that I can use to make my house.
Yep. Yeah.
So
oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna say, also if you're just getting into this wholesaling thing, have an end goal in mind. I mean, you wholesale if you want to flip, and then ultimately figure out if you're going to be a buy and hold investor. And then, I mean, because, wholesaling is great, but at some time, you might want to do your own deals too. So that's just,
it could be all three, right?
Yeah, it could be all three, but while you're out there and you're wholesaling, set the right expectation for your seller.
Yeah.
Make sure you've done your homework, partner up with Todd, partner up with Michael, give me a call if you got a question. I don't know. I mean, set the right expectation. Know when a deal is a wholesale deal too. And you'll know it, once you've started marketing and got it out there under contract, and people are calling you up left and right. So set the right expectations, know your homework, your comps, whether it's a true buy and hold and what it's going to take to put into the property. Put yourself in the buyer's shoes. I'm seeing a lot of deals out there where, man, properties are just, they're way up there. I don't know. Maybe Ty can talk.
Yeah. Well, there's two things for new wholesalers. When you pitch out a deal, especially on Facebook, there's no reason why you should not pitch out the address. No reason why, if you got it locked up, no reason why you pitch out pictures. And you do not want to put in the comments. Don't put in the comments that no mobile offers, stuff like that. It's just negative. Buyers don't want to. That just tells me you're brand new. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. And especially if you got a deal. I knew someone that had a deal, and they're telling me a comp that, and I'm not going to say this because everyone's seen the deal on Facebook. they're telling me there's a comp for like 500,000 and the comp was 700 square feet bigger than our house, when there's 5 comps right around within a block at 300,000. So don't act like you got a great deal when because of one comp. You gotta know how to comp a property. If you don't know how, you gotta find someone that does. And that's, you know,
Yeah, and if you guys need help, call me. I can help you out. I put together a pretty good matrix that'll help you develop a price per square foot based on your comps. And that's really where the money is how to figure out the price per square foot on your comps.
yeah, if you know the comps, what the ARV is, if you got an idea of the repairs, and if you got, you'll know, and you gotta leave a profit of, in my opinion, 20 grand or 20% minimum, whatever is higher, to the investor you're selling it to, and put in your fee after that, you got a deal. That's on those fix and flip type deals.
Right.
Okay. Now, if it's a rental, you got to figure it out different. You got to figure out what the potential rent is or what the current rent is, minus taxes, minus insurance, minus 10% for management fee, minus 10% for maintenance. And then you got to divide that with the amount of what they're paying for it, how many repairs, how much in repairs, your fee, and the ROI in Detroit should be 18% or higher. And if you need any help on that, let me know, because I said that real fast. So in the suburbs, you need to be around 15, 16%, 14%, depending on that. But that is the way I do it. And that's the way a lot of people look at it here in town. So, all right, any other questions? Anyone got anything they want to hear about? Any wins? Anyone had any wins this week? Any contracts, any closings? Come on.
I was just gonna ask about how do you know who the right title company is to go with here in Michigan?
That's a good question. Because if you don't go with the right title company, I use Speedy Title. Melissa is a processor there. She handles, I know she does work for Mike, she does work for Emmett, and she handles, she knows wholesaling, and she can help when it closes, she can make sure it closes. So that's her. I use Detroit Title and Escrow. Emma and Davin are over there. They know how to do wholesaling. Other wholesalers use MIT, Michigan Investment Title. I use them once or twice. Those are my go-to title companies. I'm sure there's other ones out there. So you got to find someone that that you don't have to pay for title when you order title, number one. And because you don't want to be spending money on deals you don't know if they're going to close or not, and that know what they're talking about with wholesaling. I had one title company recently. It came from another wholesaler. They were using a different title company they used before, and they made the seller sign a addendum right before closing that would shows how much money everyone was making and that they were okay with it. That's ridiculous. All right.
Yeah. So do you create your own purchase agreement? Like Carson does through his CRM? Or do you have an attorney write that up for you?
No, I got my own. Instead of asking an attorney, and I heard this on a podcast and it made a ton of sense to me. Instead of spending the money, and I could give you mine, I'll be more than happy to share it with you. But instead of having an attorney make one up and cost you could talk to Speedy Title, you could talk to Melissa, you could talk to Detroit Title and Escrow or any other title company and tell them you're a wholesaler. And if ask them if they have a contract, a purchase agreement that they could send to you. That means they approve it and they have attorneys that work for them.
Yeah.
And the title company is going to protect them, you know, at the end of the day, and you expect them to, they're going to make sure they're protected at the end of the day, which is going to make sure you're protected at the end of the day. So that's what I would suggest, that, you know, you could ask another wholesaler for one, but you have no idea where I got mine at. But I could tell you it works, and I closed many deals through with it.
Yeah.
And I added to it down, you know, over the years. But another way is to get a relationship with a title company. You know, you could call Davin at Detroit Title and Escrow, or call Melissa, tell them you know me, tell them you're wholesaling, and, you know, ask them some questions. How do I order title? Or how can I, is there any way you could send me a purchase agreement that you guys approve that I could use, and an assignment agreement I could use, things like that. And then you could look at it and add to it, subtract to it as you feel necessary. So.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
It always makes me nervous.
Oops, sorry, hang on. That was a mistake. What was that? I'm sorry. It makes you nervous, Nicole?
Yeah. If you don't know who you're gonna be working with, as far as title or have agreements and talking to your seller, if you don't have those type of agreements ready and set for your sellers to review.
Yeah,
But yeah, I still need to review what the comps are and the ARVs. I never heard of JVing before. I've worked with different wholesalers just on the side, cold calling and stuff, but so this JV thing is kind of new to me. So
yeah,
I'll definitely be reaching out to people that want to go in on deals.
yeah. So the JV and we use a new word. We got,
Squad up.
yeah, squat up, squat up. That's our new word. It's the same thing. It's just you squat up. I squat up with a lot of people, and you guys figure out what the split is. I mean, it could be a 50-50 split. You could bring the deal. You could bring, with me, you could bring the phone number, and I'll call and make the lead. But again, you want to learn this business. You want to learn every step of the way. So eventually you could do deals on your own, or you could sometimes, Mike and I was talking about this, but you know, I could see him going off and doing all his deals and selling his deals and everything else. But sometimes it's good, if you're good at getting deals, getting the leads, and you might not be good at getting the contracts. Now you got to squat up with someone until you're good at getting the contracts, and you still make money. They could go get the contracts for you. Then once you learn that, you can still squat up with someone and they find the buyers until you're good at that. But remember, if you got 2 or 3 deals in your pipeline, you're new at it, it might take you away from making new leads, because now you're trying to get the contract, you're trying to close the deals. Before you know it, 3 or 4 weeks pass by and you close those deals. You close 2 out of the 3, 1 dies, and now you have nothing in your pipeline. So you always got to time block, put time aside, make sure you're making those phone calls. Matt's on the phone, and you know, even if it's an hour a day, and then try to get to 2 hours a day, try to get to 3 hours a day, try to get to 4 hours a day. Whatever you got to do, you got to do it. All right.
Yeah.
It's going to come dry, and you'll be rich one day and broke for the next 30 days. Because what you do today is going to make you money in wholesaling in 3 weeks. Okay. And as a realtor, I'm a licensed realtor. What I do as a realtor today is going to make me money in 90 days from now. That's the difference, so I hope that kind of made sense. I don't even know what I really said, but I was trying.
Oh, it made a lot of sense, Todd. It's called money making activities.
Yes.
Money making activities. Call time. I don't know. Go talk to the people on the street. If you're finding yourself disposing your resources with um, ways that are not making you money from mailers, I encourage you go to a neighborhood association meeting. Talk to who's not satisfied with what's going on in the neighborhood. Who's squatting in the house? You'll be amazed. You go to a neighborhood association meeting and ask, "Hey, who's trying to sell their house? Do you know anyone?" And tell them that you're an investor. Money making activities. That's what I call it.
Yeah. And when you're networking, remember, you might know someone at church, you might know a pastor who knows everybody that has problems. You might know a mail carrier, a garbage person. They drive for dollars every day. They're in the neighborhoods looking at houses. Those are probably, if you know a mail carrier and a garbage person, oh my gosh, you could probably get some leads from them. And the mail carrier knows other mail carriers that know other mail carriers and different routes. And you figure out a way that you can make them money, and they can feed you leads or addresses. That's all you really need. Or they could just drop off a little note on every door that looks like it's abandoned. So, you know,
Or you can get to know an attorney, a bankruptcy attorney or
I got,
a divorce attorney.
that's a great, I got a probate deal this week. Attorney called me that I did another deal 6 months ago and says, I got a property in Detroit. This is what we want for it. And it was a deal. I knew it all the way. Brick bungalow. I thought it was gonna be way nicer than it was. It was nice, but and he cleaned it out for me. It took him 6 30-yard dumpsters to clean it out. It was an order.
Wow, 6 30-yard dumpster time.
Yeah, and I got it for $20,000, and it's worth 80 to 90. So,
Whew, that's a monster.
and I sold it for 30. I made 10 grand with him.
Oh wow. Oh man. I feel bad for the guys that were doing the heavy lifting in those dumpsters, man. Woo wee.
Yep. I went and looked at it when they were cleaning it out, and then I looked at it once it was cleaned out. And it's a probate deal, so it's gonna take 30 days to close. I brought my locksmith, secured the house, and removed the brand new furnace out of the house so no one steals it. They gave me permission to do that.
Oh wow, that was sweet. So Todd, tell us how do you deal with someone that's got a squatter in the house and they want to sell their house, but they don't you can't get into the house. You just they said I just want to be done with it. I'm done. Just give me 10 grand.
Yeah, if you get a good deal like that. So here's a couple of ways, and I should probably put a team together to do this. I could probably make a lot of money, but there's a couple of guys out there. But what you could do, there's property managers. You can start interviewing property managers in Detroit and ask them that question that you just asked, okay? And they might go to the house. They might, like I would go to the house, I would bring you with me, Emmett, or I'll have backup with me. I'll have my taser, I'll have my 9mm, and I'll knock on the door and I say, how you doing? I got an opportunity to take over this management of this property. I was just checking to see if you want to stay in the property, if you're interested in staying there. And hopefully the conversation goes, yes, I am. Wonderful. What is wrong with the
Woo!
property? What is wrong with the property? Can you show me around so I could start writing a list so I could get things fixed for you? So if they're cooperative, they're gonna show you, I mean, if they say yes, they wanna stay there and lease it, great. They'll show you around, even though you're not, have no intentions of leasing it to them. Who knows? All right. You might, at the end, when you're outside again, you might ask them a few questions. Where are you working? Blah, blah, blah. You know, I could send you over the application with my, you know, my property management team, and you could send it over to
Wow.
you. I could get you approved. Okay.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
yeah, that's the best case scenario. Worst
That
case
is
scenario.
killer game. Killer game.
But
Wow.
so the worst case scenario, you knock on the door and they
Mm-mm.
answer the door and they say, what the fuck you want? Excuse my language,
No.
right? And you say, hey, how you doing? I wouldn't say, I said, I'm, I work with a property management company, and they say, no, I'm not gonna rent this house. You're gonna have to evict me. I said, how about this? Would you take some cash if I could get them? You don't make it sound like it's you. You're not making any decisions. If I could give you some money, would you take some money to move? And how much money? I don't know. How much money would you like? You try to get them just like you're doing with sellers. You try to get them to name a price. If you give me $500, great. If he says 5,000, you can say no. I can't. 100%, they won't do five. The most they'll take, what if I was I don't even know if they would do this. This is more than normal, but what if they could give you $1,000, 1,200, somewhere in that ballpark? Is that enough incentive for you to move? And they say, no, I need more. How much do you need? I'll go back to them and I'll find out. All right. Boom. $2,000. Okay. If I could give you $2,000, when can you move? I'll move Monday. Okay. So what if I gave you $100 right now and you show me around the house? Let me take some pictures, and then I'll give you my number. I'll send you a text message. I'll send you a text message means they're going to give you their phone number, right? I'm going to text you right now so you have my phone number. You're not asking him for the phone number. You're getting their phone number because you're texting them. It's a psychological thing. If you say, what's your phone number? He might all of a sudden say, no, I'm not giving that to you. But he said, let me send you a text message so you have my information. I'll give you $100 right now. You show me around the house. I'll take some pictures. And that way you'll take a picture of the furnace. You'll take a picture of the hot water tank. You'll take a picture of anything that's wrong with the house. You'll ask them, you start becoming their friend. What's wrong with the house? Boom, 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 boom. And then you start taking the pictures of everything. So when you go and get that $2,000 approved, you say, look, the furnace has to be here. The hot water tank has to be here. When I come back here to give you the money and you're completely out, and we're gonna remove the furnace and hot water tank that's there right now the day you move out. So you're just telling them you can't come back and steal it. I'm gonna screw the door shut. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and I'll give you the $2,000. Would that work? So that's the hostile way.
Now, what if he? Wait, I missed a little bit of that, Todd. I'm sorry. Can you take me back? How did that conversation initiate? Because I got the one where they were cooperative, and then this is the one. So how do they? You say, do you want to stay here or?
Yeah, and they say no, I don't. And they say, well, if how much money, I can do it a couple of ways. We could bring the sheriff. You don't tell them you'll file for the eviction. You say we could bring the sheriff or the police department because you're squatting, and they'll evict you. I really don't want to do that. If I could get you some money, how much money would work for you to move? And hopefully they say $500. If they say 5,000, then you're going to say, no, that won't work. If I could give you 1,000 or 1,200, I don't even know if they'll do it. Would that work? All right. So that's how you kind of get into that conversation. And you can listen to it. You can listen to the tape because I'm taping this. I'll put it on my YouTube and hear the rest because I don't want to repeat it for everyone again. But that's how you, and then and you know, and then you try to get in the house. You say, let me take a few pictures so I could tell them what's in here, and what's wrong with the house, and that way, and I'll give you $100 right now for letting me in. Would that work for you? Boom. So you're trying to get in. Worst comes to worst, they say no. Say, listen, now I'm going to tell you what they're going to do because they just did it over on this street, right around the block. They're going to call the police department. They got a line. The police department has a division that evicts people with phone calls. Okay, and they're going to make me bring a dumpster here. They're going to come here, and they're going to throw everything out. They're going to board up all the windows. They're going to remove the furnace and hot water tank, and they're going to throw you out. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. And I don't have to go to court to do that because you're squatting. And you tell them that you have a connection with the police department that has a division that kicks out squatters. All right?
Simple and easy, lemon squeezy.
Yeah, but you need backup with you when you go there.
Yeah, so you go there with like, oh, you really need backup, huh?
I would suggest it. I mean, we're here to be safe. I don't want to shoot nobody, and I don't want to get shot. So I got a couple guys that I'll Uber to the house and meet me there. Whatever you got to do.
Has anybody ever seen an eviction going down on the car? Anybody ever seen a squatter being removed? I've seen one go down.
My parents used to own apartments. I've seen a few evictions, but I was way younger.
Nice. Hey, do your parents have apartments now they want to sell to me for cash?
My dad's got a place in Lincoln Park, a 4-unit. He's thinking about selling it. I think he likes holding on to it. He's about to retire, so he might like the income. We just got it fully rented out a couple months ago.
Why don't you work on getting that from your dad, seller financing right now?
Probably could.
That should be yours, bro. Make him happy, pay him whatever he wants for it on terms, and it'll be a killer deal for you.
Right. Yeah, I've been thinking about it. I just wasn't too sure about the Lincoln Park area.
Lincoln Park's great, bro.
Right. Yeah, this might help with anything, really. I want to start stacking some rentals here soon.
Yeah. Mike and I was just talking about we might start a meetup in Lincoln Park.
I'd be down. I'd be heading there.
Excuse me. I'm not sure. It's downriver. I don't know if it's Lincoln Park or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lincoln Park is killer.
Yeah, I got tons of buyers downriver. Tons. They I don't even. They got a lot of buyers down there. So, all right. Anybody have any wins they want to talk about? Mike and I are closing a deal Monday. That's a win for sure. And Emmett and I are working on a couple of deals together, and they're looking good, in my opinion.
And that guy just sent over an offer.
The one for 40 to 39?
Yep.
All right, let's burn it. Burn it.
Oh, that's another thing. Anybody out here that's new, whatever works for you, like the second or third time, do not deviate from it.
We talked about that. Hey,
if it was working for you in the beginning, don't change it.
Hey, Emmett, I talked about that in the beginning. You were here. I told him not to change title companies. Don't change your process. I explained that situation already.
Yeah, and avoid lawyers at all costs.
Yeah. Cool. All right, man. Remember.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Now, what about accountants? Like, do you guys have like the accountants that y'all work with?
Them too.
Yeah.
Okay.
You mean accountants that try to get deals, or accountants for you to help you with your company?
Yeah, with the company.
Yeah, there's you can look up Frank Elsini. I'll put it in the comment section. He's I think he goes by as he's on Facebook, he's on my page, he's like what do they call him? The geek, some type of geek. Yeah. Anyway, he's really, really good at figuring out how to structure your business. A lot of people use him. I know him personally. Um, he's helped me.
I'm going to see him too. I'm going to see him too, Todd.
Yeah, I'm gonna punch in his phone number here. I forget, it's something geek, some type of geek, and he's on. If you go to, I'm gonna put in the comments here. Go to Mark Maupin YouTube page. All right, and there's a couple YouTube videos with Frank that were killer, really, really good, really, really good. So you can go to that and look him up. Yeah, he would be my referral that I would tell people to check out. I'm not an attorney. I'm not an accountant. Everything I'm telling you tonight is a lie. Try it on and you like it. So you got to figure this stuff out for yourself and see if it works. So I don't want to be sued either. But yeah, Frank is a good guy. Really is.
Appreciate that.
And that's a good question, AD, because you might be on another Zoom meeting or in a Facebook group and you might ask that same question and you might call Frank, not saying he's going to do this. He might not answer your call for a week or two, and then you might find another guy that answers your call. So it's got to be someone that you connect with. Just because I connect with Frank doesn't mean you will, but I'm pretty sure you will. But you know what I'm saying. Some people might be good for one person and not for another. So you just gotta vet him yourself to see if he's gonna work for you. But he's a really good guy. I can tell you that much.
All right, thank you.
Yep. All right, what else we got? Any wins? Anybody got any more questions? Any more help that you need, or any questions at all?
I wouldn't mind going over the ARVs again, how you get your comps, but I can ask that again another time.
No. Well, if you're
you're still doing squat ups on Saturdays, I can come through.
Yeah, sometimes I do. During the week, I'm depending on my day. Like I've been in the office since 4 o'clock, I think, or 4:30 all night. And some days I'm there all day long. Some days I'm not. Anyone's welcome to come to White Lake at any time. I could tell you what my schedule is. I usually don't know till the day before or the night before or the morning of if I'm going to be there all day or not. But yeah, so comps, and I might have a video on it or I'll make a video, but being a real estate agent and knowing how to do comps, you don't have is the key, or hooking up with someone that knows how to do comps. I know you could look at Zillow, you could look at different sites, but having access to the MLS and knowing how to use it, it's not hard. I could show someone in 10 minutes how to pull comps. And then the more you do it, the better you're going to get. So you want to compare properties that are within a half-a-mile radius. If you're in the city, or any city, it's a half-a-mile radius. But when you're in the country, sometimes you might have to go a mile out or 2 miles out in some cases. You want to find similar properties, try to stay around the same square footage within 100, maybe 200 square feet at the most above Like if I got 1,000 square foot, I probably don't want to go over 1,200 or 1,250 square feet. And I probably won't want to go under 800 square feet. So, in the same condition, well, if you're figuring an ARV, which means after repair value, you're looking for houses that are fixed up, that sold within the last 6 months, 180 days, last 6 months. And you could look at actives, you could look at pending, and you could look at sold. Now the actives don't mean they sold, but the market's so hot. Usually an agent's gonna price it right and they're gonna get higher offers or full price offers. They usually know what they're talking about. So you could look at those, but really it's what sold in the last 180 days. That's how you look at it. Same style home, if it's a colonial, you're not gonna get a ranch house for that if there's colonials in the area. So that's how I do it. And but the MLS is the key. And there's ways to get on the MLS. If you are not an agent, you might be hooked up with someone that is an agent and pay 25 bucks a month to them, and you can become an assistant for them, and you can get access to pulling comps.
Thank you.
How do you think PropStream compares to like MLS?
I don't use PropStream, but that is a way of pulling comps. Some of those comps they pull are from the MLS, probably, some are not. Do you use PropStream, Mike?
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay. Mike, do you use PropStream?
No, I don't use PropStream.
Okay.
I use the MLS.
Yeah.
And what I found out about PropStream is that it's probably around anywhere from 5 to 10% less. The comps are 5 to 10% less than what you would see on Real Comp, okay, or the MLS.
The market right now being so hot.
What's that?
You think that's mainly because of the market being so hot?
Yeah, absolutely.
I got a great nugget. So let's say you got a house worth 100 grand. ARV. I pulled the comps in the neighborhood 100 grand. So instead of telling the seller your house is up worth 100 grand fixed up, you can ask the seller, how much do you think your house is worth fixed up? They might tell you 70 grand.
That's your ceiling.
So if a seller said, I go, how much is your house worth fixed up? If you have a beautiful kitchen, all new paint, it is shining, sparkling, looking great, what do you think you could sell this house for? If they tell you 70,000 and you could get 100, I would say, you know what, Mrs. Jones, you're probably right. It's probably worth 70,000, maybe 72, something like that. You're probably right on the money. Okay. Now you got the number that they think. So what do you think, Mrs. Jones, needs to fix this house up so I could sell it for $70,000, or you could sell it for 70,000? We need to do your roof look nice, so I don't have to do that. Your windows are nice. Your furnace is actually nice, but how much do you think it could put an electrical box in there? How much do you think, and you're doing this in the house, how much you think you have to replace this? That's probably $2,000. Yeah, you're right. That probably is. Or she might say, that's probably 500. Who's that guy? Let me call him now. No, that's probably 1,000. How much you think to fix up a new kitchen? So you use their numbers, and if they're low, you tell them, no, there's no way. But if they're high, use their numbers. And then you say, okay, let's sit down and figure this out. Get your paper out, figure out 70,000. So it's gonna cost me 41,000 to fix this house. I'm not gonna make a lot of money, but 41,000 minus 70,000. Hang on, I'm doing it on my calculator right now.
29.
29.
Yeah, 29,000. So if I was able, because I gotta make a few grand, if I was able to pay you 25,000 for this house, which I know is worth 100, would that work for you? Boom. They're gonna do it all day long.
Yeah.
You hope. So you kind of, it's like a funnel. You try to put them in that funnel. And now if he said it's worth 120, then you're gonna have to have that hard conversation with them and show them that it's worth 100,000. You know, I wish it was worth 120, but we're gonna have to do an addition to make it there. So I hope that makes sense. It's another way of talking to people and trying to get them, you don't have to do that on every call, but sometimes it's always good things to know to do that.
Todd, do you prefer pictures or videos when you look outside of houses?
Yeah, most people prefer pictures, but if you add videos, and the hint with videos is don't do them longer than 1 minute and do a bunch of them. Like one room you might do for a minute and go very, very, very slow. Very slow. Extra, extra slow. All right. And everything good with the property, everything bad with the property. And keep them under a minute and then put them in a Dropbox. Okay. So if someone wants to look at the basement, they could go to the basement video. If they want to look at the outside of the house, they go to the outside video. The street of the house, they go to the street video. Kitchen, just like that. Because you want, I sometimes you can't do videos, but if you have an empty house and you have an opportunity to do videos, do them. It can't hurt. But definitely do 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 pictures. You gotta take a lot of pictures of the good and bad, so someone can look at those pictures and make a decision without that they want it or not. And all they gotta do is do a quick walkthrough and confirm everything.
That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Cool. All right. Anything else? All right, Matt. I want you to work out a deal by tomorrow night with your mom and dad. Getting that deal, that 4 unit in your name, seller financing. You start taking over property managing it, whatever you got to do. Does your dad property manage it, or does he have a property manager?
Yeah, no, they've always managed all their stuff. I've helped them out through the year. They even had an 18 unit like years ago in E-course that they managed themselves, and I was surprised by that. Even like while I was playing AAA hockey, I don't know how they did all that.
Right. So now you got to take over this property managing for them. Maybe start showing them, I want to do this. I can help you with property managing. I used to manage tons of properties, and um, eventually you're going to get this property and you're going to hire a property manager. But um, that's how you're going to scale. But maybe first 4 years property manage it, and then next, how can maybe your dad knows some people that own these properties? Who knows? How do you go and partner up with your dad to go buy some other ones? And he could be a passive buyer, or he might be able to go get a loan, and you can manage it and get. I'm serious.
Yeah, he's about to retire. Actually, me and him have been talking. He's been really interested in storage lot. He wants to get something like that.
Yeah, that's a good business. I might have one up north if he's interested.
Might be.
All right, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, everyone. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Feel free to reach out. If you want to save the comments, just go to the bottom of the page somewhere. All right. If you go to the chats and there's 3 dots where it says more, click on it and then save chat, and it'll save to your computer, and you'll have all the information that people wrote in there. And you can go to my YouTube page, Todd Chun, and I will download this in the next probably 24 hours. All right, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great week. Thanks for joining.
See ya.
Take care.